Friends, class of 2017, good morning. I'm happy that the weather has cooperated with us this morning. Let me start by saying congratulations to the St. Paul School class of 2017 and to their parents of these graduates. Well done. Let me also say thank you to the faculty and staff for your passion and dedication in working with these students. Thank you. Before I share a few opening remarks with you, I want to personally thank the seniors and their families for welcoming the Faust family into your class when we arrived as you were freshmen. I'm proud to celebrate your final accomplishments at St. Paul's today, having been part of all 4 years of your high school career. Seniors, it doesn't seem that long ago that we were at the opening senior cookout in August. I told you then that the senior class would set the tone for the rest of the school. Congratulations on a job well done. You have led the school well. Think about some of the things you've accomplished this year. You sent out more than 600 college applications and were accepted by 385 institutions of higher learning. You will head to 59 different schools next year, and more than 60% of you have earned merit-based scholarships. You completed more than 3,000 hours of community service. You won 2 MIA athletic championships. You delivered virtuoso artistic performances, singing, playing musical instruments, and acting. And for better or worse, in your final days, you put your stamp on the upper school by commandeering the faculty parking lot in the library. By any measure, you are an accomplished group, extremely well educated, ready to move on and take full advantage of the opportunities that lie before you. But before I offer my final best wishes to the class of 2017, I can't resist the opportunity to offer some final advice. I wanted to share selections that come from 3 very different commencement ceremonies and yet resonate with what we've been doing here at St. Paul's over the last 4 years. In one of the best commencement speeches ever delivered at Kenyon College in 2005, the late American novelist David Foster Wallace spoke about the human tendency to see the world as if you were the center of it. He described this self-centeredness as our natural default setting, hardwired into our boards at birth. Wallace then tries to explain what life would be like if we could overcome this default setting and see the world through others' eyes. How much more meaningful our lives would be if we could overcome this impulse to see ourselves as the center of everything. He believes that living a more empathetic life will lead us to a more fulfilled life. Wallace says, the really important kind of freedom involves attention and awareness and discipline and effort and being able to truly care about other people and to sacrifice for them over and over in a myriad petty little unsexy ways every day. So my first piece of advice is to fight the natural default setting and try to see the world through others' eyes on occasion. Try to live a life that doesn't always have you in the center of it. Theo Epstein, the president of baseball operations for the Chicago Cubs, delivered this year's commencement address at Yale, his alma mater. There is a powerful section of the speech where Epstein reflects on what he'd like his sons, Jack and Drew, to take away from the Cubs' drama-filled World Series victory last October, heading back to the locker room to wait out a Game 7 rain delay after blowing a 3-run lead in the 8th inning. A moment of connection, similar to the message Wallace delivered in his commencement address, unfolded. Epstein says, I thought immediately of the players' meeting during the rain delay. and how connected they were with each other, how invested they were in each other's fates, how they turned each other's tears into determination. During rain delays, players typically come in off the field and head to their own lockers, sit there by themselves, change their wet jerseys, check their phones, think about what's gone right and wrong during the game, and become engrossed in their own worlds. That would have been disastrous for our team during Game 7, 25 players sitting alone at their lockers, lamenting the bad breaks, assigning blame, wallowing, wondering. Instead, they had the instinct to come together. Actually, it was not instinct, it was a choice. One day, I will tell Jack and Drew that some players, and some of us, go through our careers with our heads down, focused on our craft and our tasks, keeping to ourselves, worrying about our numbers or our grades, pursuing the next objective goal, building our resumes, protecting our individual interests. Other players, and others among us, go through our careers with our heads up, as real parts of a team, alert and aware of others, embracing difference, employing empathy, generally connected, putting collective interests ahead of our own. It's a choice. The former approach, keeping our heads down, seems safer and more efficient, and I guess sometimes it may be. The latter, connecting, keeping our heads up, allows us to lead, and every now and then to be part of something bigger than ourselves, and therefore to truly triumph. The last piece of advice comes from a speech by Admiral William McRaven, gave at the University of Texas in May 2014. This speech has been published into a book that sits among the top of the New York Times bestseller list called Make Your Bed, Little Things That Can Change Your Life, Maybe the World. McRaven shares 10 pieces of advice with the graduates, and I want to share his first one with you. Every morning in basic SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room. The first thing they would inspect was your bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task. It will give you a small sense of pride and encourage you to do another and another and another. By the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce that the little things matter in life. If you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things right. So that's it. Try to see the world through others' eyes on occasion. Keep your head up, not down. Be part of something bigger than yourself. Make your bed every morning. Pay attention to the little things. You'll be better prepared for the big things when they come. Graduates, you leave St. Paul's well prepared and well positioned to succeed. Based on your accomplishments thus far, it is clear that the class of 2017 will continue to make a positive impact for years to come. I can't wait to see what you do next. Congratulations.
Seniors, I'm proud of the way you've grown and developed over the past 4 years. When Mr. Schindler handed me the reins after he became the Dean of Students, I was looking at a class that had a bit of a rough go as freshmen. There was plenty of work to do to get everyone to the point where they needed to be. And I'm happy to be able to say the work has been done. High school is a place for everyone to find their successes while falling down every once in a while. It's time to challenge and grow, working one's way to an understanding of who you are, what you want to be, and how you're going to do it. And I'm very pleased with the way you've handled things and developed into a class with strong bonds, great friendships, and plenty of achievement. Congratulations. This year's senior class had a difficult time selecting just one speaker for graduation. After repeated voting and runoffs, there was simply no way to break the tie that had developed and persisted. So this year we are breaking with tradition and having two speakers. The first member of the class of 2017 to present will be Jacob Warren, a young man who has earned everyone's respect as a person of the finest integrity and character who achieves at the highest level in each and every of his many endeavors. As stated by his college counselor, Ms. Adachi, exceptional is the word that comes to mind when speaking of Jacob. He's exceptional as a student, earning cum laude status while taking on the demands of the full IB diploma program. He's exceptional as a leader of service, volunteering over 500 hours to organizations such as Habitat for Humanity and the Veterans Administration. He's exceptional as an athlete, contributing to varsity teams while maintaining the highest levels of personal fitness and health. And he's exceptional as an editor, helping produce a yearbook that will provide great memories for the future. In addition, there is a little-known fact that he is rapidly developing exceptional talent in the culinary field, having learned to cook at his uncle's bed and breakfast. Our second speaker this morning will be Michael Ward, a young man who has also achieved at the highest of levels in the classroom and beyond. In the words of his college counselor, Mr. Talmadge, Michael is a leader, whether holding a lead role in the musical, organizing his teammates in basketball, or steering discussion in physics. Michael is a charismatic, intelligent young man who commands the respect of those around him. A serious student, Michael has enrolled in the most demanding of curriculums and achieved at a very high level. A special athlete, Michael provided extraordinary talent and senior leadership to this year's championship basketball team. A pragmatic leader who got things accomplished, he played a prominent role in running the Black Awareness Club's Spring Mixer, one of the best events of the year. Some would say that it even rivaled the legendary sock hop. Michael was also a dedicated musician, was an important contributor to the choir program, and an unforgettable star of last fall's musical, Hairspray. An incredibly talented young man with a wide array of interests, Michael embodies all that we value at St. Paul's. Our first speaker now will be Jacob Warren.
Morning. Friends, family, teachers, staff, I, on behalf of the class of 2017, welcome you to the commencement for the St. Paul's class of 2017. Today we are here to celebrate what I'm sure many of you take as a miracle. Your son, your nephew, grandchild, or friend is graduating from high school. He made it through what I am sure for you have been 4 years filled with plenty of anxiety, perhaps fear, or even some days spent wondering what in the heck your graduate was doing with himself. Well, you can take your sigh of relief now, because he made it. No senior could have gotten through high school without the help of every family member or friend, every teacher or mentor. From the class of 2017, we give you all a sincere thank you for everything you have done for us. The group you see here before you experienced many peaks and valleys during their time at St. Paul's. But nonetheless, we stand here before you at our graduation. We're donning our white tuxes, our sunglasses are on, and in a few short moments, we will become alumni of the place that some of us have called home for the past 14 years. How about a round of applause for the class of 2017? I am beyond humbled to be representing our class here today, and rather than give anyone life advice about what you should do when you leave this place, I would like to show every person here today just how special our class is. Among the graduating seniors, you will find the names of the top academic institutions that this country houses: Princeton, University of Pennsylvania, Pomona, and Yale, just to name a few. You will find seniors scattered across the country, from University of Southern California to Colby College in Maine, University of Michigan, all the way down to SMU in Texas. You will also find 5 members of the senior class who have bravely chosen to serve their country after college, as 4 will be attending the United States Service Academy, and another senior will be attending the University of North Carolina on a full ROTC scholarship. In addition, 60% of the senior class will be receiving partial to full scholarship money in the fall as a result of their hard work over the past 4 years. As you can see, we have a very diverse class, but one constant remains is that we seek excellence in everything we do, and we are looking to our futures with bright enthusiasm and maturity. As a class, we have seen great success on the athletic fields and in other extracurricular activities. Just this past year, our basketball team won the MIAA championship. Our wrestling team produced several All-Americans, and our senior heavy squash team was ranked 12th in their division and top 50 nationally. In the spring, 4 seniors led the golf team to back-to-back championships. The baseball team, as a few seniors put it, led the MIAA in every major statistical category, except wins. Still a little bit baffled by this statement, but nonetheless, they had what looked to be a very fun season, even if the record indicated otherwise. The lacrosse team reached MIAA quarterfinals for the 2nd year in a row and produced an All-American goalie who holds the record for all-time saves here at St. Paul's. More importantly, however, the team was fortunate enough to get to say farewell to one of the all-time great coaches and mentors to walk the sidelines in Coach Mercado. Our arts department put on some of the most spectacular productions you will see at a high school, and our choir ensemble dazzled with each and every performance. Our class thrived off the field and outside of the theater as well. Collectively, we provided over 8,330 hours in various community service projects. We brought some great events to campus, like sock hop, the 3v3 basketball tournament, and breaking down the fences at Tulite Field as a result of our cheering, all of which may or may not become long-standing traditions. Now, did we have any slip-ups along the way? Of course. Some of us ruined Miss Gray's winter break with our midterm exam grades, and some of us ruined almost every day from Miss Stamper when we entered our B-block biology class. But no high school journey would be complete without mistakes. We learned, we grew, and these mistakes have given us invaluable knowledge and have made us better people as we begin to leave St. Paul's. With all of this, our impact as a class has been felt across campus. We challenge each other every day to be great and performed in all capacities asked of us. With every game, every production, every moment spent here, I know that each senior, including myself, misses time here on this hill. So if there's one thing I hope that each and every one of you takes away from this speech, is that the future of this great country is in good hands. The young men you see here before you are shining examples of the potential for good that this country and school can offer. We live in a world today where older generations live in fear of what direction the world will go in as the younger generations begin to take over. To them, I say, take comfort in the amazing things we as a class have done, and be optimistic about the positive change that I know these young men will bring to society. Seniors, go into the world knowing that what you have learned here will take you far, and never forget that the world doesn't owe you anything. It is up to you to go out and take it each and every day. Leave your legacy. Cruises for life. Congratulations, class of 2017.
We made it. I don't even even know if this is allowed, but I'm just going to take a selfie right now, just to remember. Hold on one second. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag we made it. Hashtag we'll get back to my speech now. There have been so many fallen soldiers over the past 4 years, I just want to take a short moment of silence for all of the kids who couldn't make it to graduation day. Thank you. I love this school, man, I really do. I didn't even realize it until I caught myself here for hours working out every day, even after school was already over. Even after we finished exams, I was here. And I belonged to another gym closer to my school, yet I always caught myself on this campus. But on to the speech. I would first like to say that I'm truly honored to speak in front of you all today. As someone who enjoys public speaking, I assure you I've spent countless hours writing and rehearsing this for you today. So this speech may be heavy with content, so lighten up, sit back, and relax for the next 5 or so minutes. Just a couple of people I'd like to thank. First, I'd like to thank my arms for being by my side, my legs for always supporting me, and my fingers because I can count on them. I want to give a special thank you to the sidewalks for keeping me off the streets. And I'd like to thank SparkNotes, Wikipedia, Swoop, Grade Saver for getting me through my final English paper. The one before that, and everyone before that. So we're going to try some role playing. I'm going to act like I'm 50 years old and I'm the father to my son. The class of 2017 over there will all be my son. As of today, your name is Ross. Now you all in the crowd, you can be my 8-year-old daughter, who's in the room listening to my son and my conversation. She has nothing else to do right now. So any of you can take this as serious as you want and act like an 8-year-old, or you can just sit there and listen. Whatever you feel is right. Ross, I want to talk to you for a second. I want to tell you a few things about life before you graduate, and then I'll have to lay back and trust that you will walk with pride and remember everything I taught you as you face this next chapter in your life. A couple things you have to know about the real world. Food is better. Other than that, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm just messing with you. Here's a few lessons. First lesson actually comes from your favorite rapper, J. Cole. He says, to appreciate the sun, you have to know what the rain is. I'll repeat that. To appreciate the sun, you have to know what the rain is. Son, there's going to be some times when you feel like giving up. There will be times when you feel as if you have tried it all and that nothing else will work. But what you need to realize is the time you feel like you can't keep moving is when you so desperately need to take another step. There's beauty in the struggle because that's where all your lessons will be learned. You will find out who you truly are in times of utter devastation. Will you stand up and continue to fight, or will you sit down and let defeat sink in? Don't get me wrong, it's okay to fail, and I'd actually think something is wrong if you didn't fail, but what's not okay is if you stop trying. Second lesson comes from your pops, me. Just have some relationship advice for you. Before you get a girlfriend, make sure you know how to nod your head and say yes. It goes a long way. Just kidding. Communication is probably the #1 aspect in maintaining a good relationship. When times are tough, being able to have a conversation with your friend or girlfriend is vital. Whether you agree or not, as a friend or boyfriend, it is your job to seek first to understand and then to be understood. I'll repeat that. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. Listen, listen, and listen. You do not have to agree with what the person is saying, but find value in connecting with one another regardless of what you both believe. And as a friend or a boyfriend, don't be afraid to show, give, or receive love. It may not be understood, and you may not get the love you're looking for back right away, but it is so important to take that leap of faith with the intent of reinforcing yourself and bringing positive energy into each relationship. With positive energy and positive intentions throughout our communities, we all have the ability to change. Make sure you're treated how you need to be treated as a man. All of your relationships should help you grow as a man. And if you notice that you're not developing or maturing during any of your relationships, then that person may not be someone you should talk to. The third lesson is to learn to show gratitude in life. Whether it is someone who gave you the notes from the class you missed, or someone who helped you land a job that you so absolutely love, say thank you. And although a simple thank you is all you need sometimes, Learn to separate yourself and write a paragraph letting that person know how you feel. I remember when I was 18, my mentor Chad told me the same thing I'm telling you now. Chad told me a story of how he did an internship at a law firm for his senior project and didn't even want to be a lawyer. He still put 100% effort in his job every day, and when it was over, he thanked his temporary boss for allowing him to learn, then thanked him again later that day in a very original way. He wrote a handwritten letter to his boss sometime that week so that when he left his office on the last day, he dropped that letter in his boss's mailbox. That next Monday, Chad received a phone call from his boss telling him that he had a guaranteed spot in that law firm once he graduated college. Chad didn't want that job, but he learned what it meant to go out of your way and say thank you. Son, you obviously know you can't put a large box inside of a small box, so why do you think you can live a big life with small dreams? Now the rest of this speech is coming from me, the 18-year-old who is standing in front of you here today as a graduating senior. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to travel the world with 14 other leaders from ages 17 to 60. Our mentor, the man who took us on this life-changing trip, had us do an exercise the last day. He said, think of where you would like to be in 10 years. Write how your day will be from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. Be as specific as possible, describing your fitness, your mate, your job, your house, etc. We were told to dream big and just write. Now, at first, I started writing without any thought. I had about 2 pages when he stopped us and said, I'll let you finish writing, but remember that the key to this exercise is to dream big. I already had 2 pages and I didn't feel like starting over, but I filled 2 pages with a life that I didn't think I truly enjoyed. I just wrote to fill time. But after I heard those 2 words a second time, I decided to change my life goals completely. And ever since that day, I've been taking steps to fulfill my dreams that at one point, I never thought was possible. I encourage you all to dream big. Write your goals on a sheet of paper. Remind yourself why you spent all of these years at St. Paul's. Why you woke up really early every morning to do something that you didn't find enjoyable. It was temporary pain for permanent improvement. It wasn't just because your parents said you had to, but you also realized the importance of education. Let these goals drive you and your future endeavors. Before we finish and get the show on the road, I'll leave you with a quote from General Colin Powell. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. So if you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception, it's a prevailing attitude. Good luck to all the future leaders sitting to my right as you all approach the next chapter in your life. Thank you.